What for me, I've always been a person who would come down and fire the hips so hard and so fast that obviously club would lag behind me. But you wouldn't tell most golfers this, is to try and let my arms beat my body down. I try and feel like my arms come down first and exit through the ball first when my hips don't move. For me, it feels like obviously my arms are winning the race and my body's not popping out of the golf shot. I used to have a problem of laying the club down like this and also popping out of it with my body, and my spine angle would change and I'd chase my right hand.
And get his arms in front of his hip motion. Where if we told an average person that they do that all the time, they'd be staying back here and just throwing their hands at it and never hit it. And like he says, that's a feeling. And the one thing Tiger and I talk about all the time is that feel and real are not the same thing. What you feel you're doing, you're very seldom doing.
True. I play a lot by feel.
Your old swing when you used to get stuck.
My Olay swing?
Yes.
I go, Olay!
That's the lay the shaft down 16th tee Players Championship, right?
And that's just because of a product of being a junior golfer. All junior golfers fire the hips hard, get the club stuck from the inside so they can flip it. Hit the ball long ways. Yeah, you hit the ball long ways, but it's hard to control. And under the gun, a lot of pressure on yourself. It's really hard to hit the ball a specific distance with the correct shape.
I don't worry a lot about rotating the lower half. Golf mechanics thing. There's a teaching pro out of Phoenix named Mike Molasses. But he talked about, he said he was on tour in the 70s. He said Jack Nicklaus was the greatest player, right, in that hole for decades, really. I practiced tee with Jack. And he said he had this violent rotation and just crushed balls. He goes, he was the first guy that was driving it, 280, 290, when Trevino and Gary Player, they were all hitting 235, 240 right down the middle, where Jack was actually out driving them. Anyway, so he said, man, his hips were so fast. So he goes, Jack, can I ask you a question? He goes, how do you, when do you engage, like how hard you want to rotate your hips? He said, never in my life have I ever thought about rotating my hips to hit a golf ball. Now, if you watch the golf swing, it totally looks like that's all that it is hip rotation. And he said, but yet this premier player did not even address rotating his hips, getting force into a golf ball. Now, the new generation, hip load, hip hinge. I've worked with guys that were obsessed with hip hinge and hip load. And I finally just said, all right, the next 2 times I work you do, I don't even want you to mention your hip. Well, we're not even going to talk about it. Dude, I feel my back hip underneath me way better. I go, yeah, because we're not talking about it. Never talk about bat lag. But my guys do it. When I look at the film, I show them the film. I'm like, you like where that bat lag is? They're like, yeah, it's perfect. I go, we don't talk about it. So it's what I call non-teach. So there's non-teaches in the swing. This is the danger of video analysis. There's non-teaches in there that we're trying to teach. I'm like, that's a non-teach. Like, don't even talk about it. It's going to happen on that. If you get these other areas right, that's going to clean up on its own. Okay, here's an example. Force seaming a baseball across the diamond or throwing a guy out at home plate. Okay, a couple things that aren't happening is you're not thinking about driving your back knee down to throw to the ball. That's one. Because I ask guys all the time, they're like, I want to feel that back knee going down into my stride. I go, do you feel it when you're throwing a ball to home plate or across the diamond? And they're like, no. I go, it's still there. It's working, right? Your lower half's working for you to throw a ball 90 miles an hour across the infield. But are you thinking about driving your back hip and back knee down? They're like, no. I go, but it does. Yeah, it's a non-teach.
Back in the 1990s, Jesus Christ put me in the path of meeting one of the finest hitting coaches in America, Frank Porco. More than Frank may realize, his fingerprints were on my son, Alex Kirilloff, Minnesota Twins, and obviously his star pupil, Sean Casey. The concept of not thinking about the hips, what Tiger Woods mentioned and Mike Bremley mentioned, I learned from Frank Porco back in 1992. Frank was an avid golf fan. These are the things that Sean Casey was taught. These are the things that my son was taught, or I should say not taught. I rarely ever bring up the topic of hips with my son or teaching to my students. And the timing of my son's hip rotation were perfectly in sync with his shoulders and arms were in sync with his legs. But what we did address was the gas pedal of his face, his head, his mind, to think faster than the ball's moving. When the face wins the race, all the other cylinders, the hips, the shoulders, the hands, they fire like lightning bolts. Let me summarize it like this. There are 3 basic gas pedals a hitter is going to use. The hips gas pedal, the shoulders as a turning action or shoulders as a tilting action, but the main gas pedal is where your eyes are, is where your brain is. It's your head. Look, TrackMan, Rapsodo, K-Vest, Blast Motion is not measuring the speed of your eyes, the positioning of your eyes, the timing of your eyes, how fast you can process a moving ball. It's one of the top ingredients to being an elite hitter. So your clock is ticking. How long are you going to wait? Start today. Get our online program. Join me on the Coach Now app. Come visit our facility. Or let's partner together. Invite me to come work with your team or organization once a month or twice a month. I'm Dave Kirilloff, languageofhitting.com, and with the Kirilloff Baseball School.